Welcome to Getting to Know You, Stonebridge residents and staff, and Happy New Year. You're probably wondering why I'm saying Happy New Year, and the month is just about over because we are taping this on January 21. But it's never too late to celebrate the new year, and it's never too late to celebrate people who reach a great milestone. So our special guests today are Rosalie Berger and Nikki Hochron, who celebrated their 100th birthday during a very quiet year when celebrating really wasn't possible. So we thought we would have our first segment in 2021 be celebrating them and the new year. But you're all flexible and you all understand this. We had to make a little change because Nikki was quarantined and had to stay in his apartment for 14 days. So we were not going to miss celebrating either our two guests or the new year. So that's what we have in store for you today. And since it's never too late to celebrate friends who turn 100, we also thought we should salute those here at Stonebridge who reached that milestone before we had to shut down and were able to celebrate, and they are listed in today's program. So here we are, and in order to get to know our 100th birthday celebrants, we decided we would ask them 3 questions, and you might listen and sort of think about what you would answer, because there are people here, most of us had pretty long lives, and they were going to tell us a little something in answer to those 3 questions, which are focused on early life, sort of midlife, and then the final one is some very simple advice for the coming year. So the first person I'm going to be talking to is Rosalie Berger, who celebrated her 100th birthday in March, and then I will turn to Nikki Hochron. So Rosalie, are you prepared? Okay, all right. We even have a picture for the first question. So the first question is about what kind of event or activity that was particularly important for you in your youth and that you remember. So can you tell us about that?
Yes, I'd be happy to. When I was 14, actually, I was an identical twin, and my sister and I decided that we wanted to teach the dancing. We started dance lessons when we were 11 years old, and we just loved that. So we went to a banker we lived in New Britain, Connecticut, and that was during the Depression. And we went to see this banker to ask to rent a dance studio. And he said, well, he had one because everything was empty anyway. We knew there was a studio with a bar and a piano. So he asked us how much we could pay for it. And we said $5 a month. He said, okay. And we had a lot of pupils because we charged about either 25 cents or 50 cents a lesson. But we had about 100 pupils, and that was a lot of fun for us, and we had a great time doing it.
And you made money.
And we made a little money. Yes, we were able to buy our clothes, which weren't very many, but we had a good time doing it.
And I think, Rosalie, the picture that you gave us of you with your twin, and if you look very closely in the picture, there's like a top hat that you're both holding. And so that must have been from the dance studio time.
Probably,
right? Okay.
Probably at that time.
So then looking ahead into sort of midlife, did you have any, as you look back on it, an experience that sort of shaped what you now are doing or interested in?
Well, we had we had a lot of fun, and because we had each other and we had the support. But in the in my early 60s, I think it was, I moved to a new place, Springfield, New Jersey. I had lived in Melbourne, and it was a garden apartment, and I was invited to go to the town hall meetings. I had never been to a town hall meeting, and very soon after starting there, someone approached me and asked if I'd like to be a district leader for the Democratic organization. I said, I would love to. What is it? I had no idea, but eventually I spent a lot of time and I had a lot of enjoyment being active. I walked with the candidates and was a poll worker, and I was on various committees, and I arranged for coffee parties all over town and my own place, and it was very enjoyable for me for many, many years.
And I think I learned from what you wrote about yourself that you even chaired the sewer commission in your town.
Oh, I was a commissioner on the Rahway Valley Sewerage Authority, so they called me the sewer lady. But I was on that board for over 20 years, and I was on various other boards. I was on the Board of Health, and there was a welfare committee and beautification committee. So I spent a lot of time doing that, and
and you never stopped.
Right, that's right.
Well, now finally, you're sitting here and celebrating 100 years. Do you have any advice?
Well, my advice, and what's helped me greatly, is that I try to look at the glass half full. It doesn't always work, but I try very hard to do that. And at 5 o'clock, there's a bell that rings, and that's time to have a drink.
Well, that's great. I think maybe there's some people who have joined in that custom, but if not, why not?
Right.
Thank you so much, Rosalie, and happy birthday belatedly, and Happy New Year.
Thank you, and to you too.
And now we're going to turn to Mickey Hochron, who celebrated his 100th birthday a little bit more than a month ago. So he's sort of new at being a centennial. Mickey, can you tell us where you grew up? Can you tell us where you grew up? We're going to start from what you told me about living.
I grew up on the Lower East Side of Manhattan.
And then you found yourself
being on the East Side. I spent all my youth, all my growing years at the Henry Street Center.
Right. And
there I learned certain important things that affected my life. And there are really 3 points in my life that stand out. Teacher, teacher, teacher. Not me, but the people I met. The first teacher I met was at the Henry Street Center. We taught me crafts of all different kinds. He was an expert, and I adored him. He's a wonderful old guy named Dr. Van de Keef. From there on, I went to Stuyvesant High School. Wonderful school. I think the best high school in the entire United States. And there they taught me things that I really got excited about. I thought I was going to be an attorney until this teacher approached me and said, "Did you ever think of being a teacher?" And that was the second leapfrog. From the first teacher to the second teacher. And finally, a third teacher came into the picture.
Yeah.
I now I'm already teaching. And this third teacher approached me and says, "Mickey, we have a group of boys here who are nonconformists. I'm not saying they're stupid, but they don't like high school. Can you do anything with them?" I thought about it. Developing quite a project. We selected about 20 boys from all 800 or 900 boys in the high school. They were all truants. They were all kids who didn't like going to school. They come from broken homes. Some of them were in trouble one way or another. And I got interested in that, and I wondered, what can I do for them? I decided I'm going to do something that they don't do in high schools. I'm going to give them a period program for their 5 major subjects, English, math, art, science. Fine. However, of the 5 major subjects, 3 of them they've already passed before they entered the program. 2 of them I taught them, and I never failed a boy. So that was home base for them.
Right.
And the 3rd subject, I dismissed them from high school at 12 o'clock, and I permitted them to go to work with parents' permission and Board of Education's permission. That was the 5th major.
Wow.
So I taught them the math and science. They had English and history, the regular teachers, whom I very carefully selected, who would be interested in these boys.
Yeah.
Now, what kind of boys did I choose? I choose boys who had potential. Never achieved any potential. But it was a fantastic experience.
So, and
All
you,
the boys passed 5 major subjects for the first time in 2 years of high school. All the boys graduated from high school. Some of them went on to very interesting jobs. They weren't all college professors, but they all did well.
right.
If you were in the program and you were late to school, you had to call me. I was the only teacher in the building that had a telephone. If you were going to be absent, you had to call me. If you couldn't call me, your mother and father, somebody should call me.
Right.
If you didn't show up at school and I couldn't contact your parent, I went out into the field and I went to see where you were working and I visited you there. I was available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It was an expensive program. Instead of my normally teaching 125 to 150 children in one day, I was now teaching only 20.
Well,
And that's the story.
you know what I think
So
you
there were
told.
3 teachers involved in my
Okay,
life.
so it's teachers, but I think what you also told us is it's creating opportunity for people. That's probably the most important thing in the world. And we have a wonderful picture that you gave us of you teaching, so people can see what you look like as the teacher in the classroom. But of course, we don't have a picture of you out watching the boys do something in the jobs that they created. But I think that's a wonderful lesson for all of us.
Well, it was very interesting because these weren't little children. These were boys who were already 16 and 17
Right.
years old. Proven dropouts,
Right,
potential dropouts.
right,
We turn them around.
right. So do you have any other advice besides everyone can always watch for creating an opportunity for somebody?
Well, all I can think of saying is that no point in looking back because you can't change what you've already done.
Right,
No point in looking ahead because you can't predict what the future's going to be.
right.
So you better make the best of where you are.
Good idea.
That's the only advice I would give you.
Okay, I think we have 2 people who really focus on the now and the future, and it's been great to talk to you. Now we're going to take just a little break because we want to celebrate with our 2 birthday people, and then we want to celebrate with you for the new year. So stay tuned. It'll come right along, but we're here and we're taking a little break before we do the last part of the program. Okay, all right. And here's what we planned for the first week in January, but we're doing it now. We made it through the first month. So we want to salute our 100th birthday celebrants, and we want to salute you, our faithful residents and staff who watch us, and we wish everyone a year filled with new and good experiences and a return to some of those old experiences we have enjoyed so much in the past. So, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year and happy
Happy New
birthday.
Year to everybody.
Yeah.
Happy New Year.